Hey guys, welcome back to another review here on HobbyLink.tv, and today we are going to be taking a look at the latest release in the Master Grade Ver.Ka lineup, and it is going to be none other than the full armor double Zeta Gundam. So quite a awesome looking kit once it is built, I have to say, although being that it is Master Grade, being that it is a full armor variant as well, this one is going to take a little bit extra time to put together compared to some other Master Grade kits out there. So maybe I was just a bit slow in building this one, but yeah, compared to that 1/60th scale Mazinger that I built, that one only took a day, but this one, gosh, I kind of slowly built it over a period of a week. Like I did legs one day, I did arms one day, I did the backpack one day, so it seems like it took me forever to finish building this thing, but finish I did, and here it is. Here is the results. So yes, as I said, it is quite awesome looking, and you have to really love that giant hyper Megacannon that comes with this kit, and we'll take a closer look at that. So this is being that this is a full armor variant, this is not a completely 100% new Master Grade kit. I think it was in 2017 we saw the first version of this kit, and that is let me bring him over here. That is the regular double Zeta Gundam. So basically this new variant is the same double Zeta with new armor pieces, as well as you do get a new head. They've redesigned the side pieces there for that head too, so that is also slightly different. Whoops, his shoulder's kind of bent over there, and he's also missing a hand there. So yeah, this guy's been sitting on my shelf at home for a few years now, and he has actually been standing up straight the whole time. So that's one thing I've kind of noticed. I believe I talked about that quite a bit when I reviewed this guy originally all those years ago, but this new version also has kind of the same issue in that this kit, unlike some of the newer kits where they've removed the use of polycaps and kind of just gone straight to using the hard, not very hard, but kind of like a softer hard type of plastic. Whoops, he got knocked over there. Yeah, this one still uses the polycaps, and because this is kind of a giant type or more heavy type of unit, when you use the polycaps on the bigger kits like that, they tend to be quite loose and floppy, but then the new guy definitely has the same thing. So I'll skip going over a lot of the stuff that I kind of went over when I reviewed this guy a long time ago, because it is basically the same as what you get in there. You got like the little core fighter guy inside of the waist unit, and that also pulls out, so that is still there, and that is quite cool to see. You'll have the same kind of cockpit on the inside with that core fighter, although because of those extra armor pieces on this unit, you can't really easily access that core fighter to see it, and you can't really, it's a bit more buried. I mean, it's still in there, but yeah, it's just a bit buried, and it's going to be harder to pull it out and see it. But at least when you're building this kit, you know that, yeah, it is on the inside of this kit. And I do believe, I also kind of remember when I reviewed this guy originally, it had you build two versions of the core fighter. I think one to actually equip inside of the suit, inside of the Gundam itself, and then another separate one that you can keep off to the side for display. But the instruction manual for the full armor variant does not mention at all about building a second core fighter. So I believe the parts are pretty much all still in there, but it doesn't mention that at all in the instruction manual for the full armor variant. So also, speaking of that, while I am on the topic of parts being included but no callouts for using them, you will notice if you look in the instructions for this guy You can see some of the runners that were used from the original variant. There are a lot of X's on these runners, so you are going to end up with quite a few spare parts to keep for your spare part collection. If you want to do any kind of customizations in the future or just have fun building crazy wacky stuff, then yeah, this kit's going to give you quite a few. I haven't taken the time to chop all of the extra parts off of the runners. I have literally, it's like I just have a stack of the runners for after building this kit sitting on the side of my desk, waiting for me to chop off these parts and throw them into a parts bin. That's going to take me, just because there's so many of these parts, that's going to take me quite a while to chop off all of these extra parts that are just not used from the original version, just not used on this full armor variant. Also, there's one other thing that you can kind of do. I don't really want to say you can't really do with this kit, but another way that you can display this kit if you were to so choose. And I'll just go ahead and show you the image they have in the manual, because it's basically what I have already shown in the review for this original variant here. Although you do kind of have slightly different armor pieces and whatnot, but right now I have this unit equipped with all of the extra full armor pieces on the outside, so everything is installed, everything is equipped how it should be. But if you do not want to have it that way, then you can also build it in this version. So this version, all these gray pieces, this is everything that is underneath the white armor pieces on the outside of it right now. So if you don't want to put all those extra full armor pieces on the outside, then you can build this as well, just using or leaving off those armor pieces and just having it as this kind of gray naked version. It's like a half step between the original version and a half step between the full armor version. But you do have, so you have like the new head pieces will be there, and you have the extended shoulder pieces which are on the outside there. So, but a lot of the other pieces are pretty much the same, although you'll notice the chest, actually the chest is different as well, because on the original version of this kit you have kind of these nice silver, not plated, but silver painted type of antenna type things that stick out, protrude from the chest there. They just are not on the full armor version. Even underneath that armor they are just not there. But I gotta say, even this version looks kind of cool. Actually, just seeing this image here kind of tempts me to want to buy a completely second version of this kit just to build and leave this one displayed in this version and have one displayed in the full armor version with all the guns. I think that would be quite cool to have all three of those on the shelf. The original version, this guy, and then this guy on the right. I'm a big fan of the bigger bulky type of suit, so the Double Z is really right up my alley in terms of the looks that I like when I think of Gundam units. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to get with this kit here. Also, one thing I want to show off before I forget, because I know definitely I'm going to forget to show this off at the end of the video. But this kit, although it does have some stickers on it, you'll see there's like a sticker, a metallic green sticker for the gun sight there, as well as these green marks that were on his chest. Let me hold him in place so you can see that there. So yeah, there are a few kind of regular stickers that it's going to call out for in the manual as you're building this kit that you're going to equip on it. I believe in the eyes as well. But it also does come with being a Ver.Ka, it does come with a nice large sheet of water slide decals. So if you want to go full out with this guy and you want to put all the marking, all the caution decals on him, boy, this is a grand sheet with tons of markings on there. So that is for you if you want to go all out on it. So that is also included. All right, so now first off, I want to take a look at the Hyper Megacannon, because it's just so dominant on this kit, and it also kind of really blocks the view of a lot of the other stuff. So I want to look at this thing first, just so I can kind of get it out of the way, so I can be able to pull it off and take a look at other things on this kit. So yeah, the Hyper Megacannon, this thing is really just ginormously huge. So you have a handle that can slide in and out if you would like. Now, these hoses for this kit, maybe not so much that one, but like here on this waist as well, these are molded in kind of a softer, rubbery type of plastic, so they're slightly bendable. And you've got a few of these equipped all around the gun as well as on his hips, so you have that. But one thing I like about this, of course, being that it is Master Grade, is that you have a number of different color pieces molded in different colors. You got the yellows on the sides. You even have like the outside is this kind of brownish gray. It might be hard for the camera to pick that color up. But you also have like the regular, more typical gray plastic on the inside, which gives it a great accent, I believe. And then you also have these white pieces here on the outside. And even here there's a kind of a opening molded onto these pieces here to kind of display the gray pieces on the underside. So that really gives it a great look as well. And then there's more of the yellow pieces here at the tip of the gun. So that is just great to see. There's that sticker I mentioned earlier. And this part can also, whoops, he lost an arm, I do believe. This part also can open and close, kind of. This part also it can swivel up and down if you would like. So this part down here as well can swivel. Now I'm going to talk about this because I want to take this thing off here. So they give you, let me make sure I get this on camera here. So they give you this kind of cool piece here to attach into the gun, which is also going to attach onto his backside. So this is, they give you this, let me pull off two of these little pieces here on the side. So they give you this kind of, it's like a 5-wire type of, yeah, just a kind of like an electrical wire type of piece that they give you. And then they also give you these little plastic things that are going to fit on the outside of it, just like you would see on like a like the pipes for the midsection of a Zaku kit. So that's that same type of style, and you just kind of stack them up, and that gives it that kind of great looking ammo style belt look. So that is kind of cool to see, and I really like because it's got that wire on the underside underneath these hard plastic pieces. It gives it that extra kind of it gives it the extra detail that if they were to just try to mold this piece into like one solid piece of plastic on like a softer vinyl type of plastic, it would do the job, but it just wouldn't give you that extra depth and the detail that this wire plus these hard plastic pieces gives you. So I gotta say, even though this is a bit more finicky as well, just the way that this wire connects into the connecting piece, it doesn't really hold as well. You notice this one is popped out. It was originally installed there on his backpack, but when they were taking pictures of this kit for the pictures that are going to be on the HobbyLink.tv blog post, be sure to check those out after watching this review on YouTube. Got some pretty great pictures, I hope, of this guy. But yeah, when they were taking pictures of this, I think it popped out and he just didn't put it back in. And when I saw that, I was like, shoot, I don't want to put it back in either, because to be honest, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, when it is installed, it looks great. Let's rotate this around so we can get down to here. See, here is the connecting piece. So that wire should be installed into this thing. Let me go ahead and pull this out. There's a slot in the back here that this is going to slide into. And let me see. He's missing an arm. He's like, give me my arm back. Help me. So yeah, here is this connecting piece for that wire there. And let me open this up so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It can do the job, but I might actually would prefer to maybe glue this in place later on. But yeah, you're just supposed to sandwich that, the black plastic wire part, you're just supposed to sandwich that between these two pieces, and then you close it up. But it doesn't really hold on to it that well, and it found that the wire is kind of easy to pop out of this thing, so be wary of that. Just want to mention. Alright, so I'm going to just pull out this gun here. So yeah, this gun itself just plugs into one of the two slots on his backpack. Now, I do believe, actually, that this is pretty much same style backpack as the original Double Zeta kit, but actually, yeah, it is completely different. The styles on these things are just way different. Even the wings themselves are completely different wings, so there's that. Everything is different. Even the thrusters on the bottom are different. They're different colors. This guy's all red and this one's all blue. And you got the big ones plus the 2 small ones underneath, but this one's just kind of got two big ones on each side with minus the little small ones. So interesting to see there. So yeah, different style backpacks, or different backpacks, but it's kind of the same style. So let me go ahead and pop this gun out if I can here. There we go. So this thing just kind of slots right on the inside of that backpack there. Now it looks like this thing should be closed together a bit more, but I'm not going to fuss over that too much. There we go. All right, so yep, here's the gun. Also on this back part here, this part also does swivel around, so you can pose this around. You can have him probably holding on to this, although I found in that position it was a bit hard to get it into a correct angle, so I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. And here's 2 more black pipes on the underside. But yeah, it's a really nice looking cannon, I have to say. The instruction manual, I do want to also point out, while I was mentioning about this kind of wire plus the hard plastic pieces on the outside, the instruction manual, when you're building this, it calls out that you can cut the wire to your desired length, however you want. So when you plug this one on the inside there is going to be a little bit of a gap that is not covered by any of the hard plastic pieces. However, when it is installed on his backpack and when you are kind of angling it over, I found it might be, for me personally, I didn't cut the wire at all. I just left it completely as it was, just to kind of give it a little bit extra reach in there, because it doesn't really feel as long as maybe it should be, I have to say. Maybe a little bit extra longer on the wire, as well as some extra of these hard pieces might have been nice, I do have to say. Alright, so let's take a look at his other weapons that are new for this kit and also come included. Alright, let's have a see. So on the original release here, we have here the missile launchers on his backpack. So this one had this style of missile launcher, but the new release, you will note that there's only 2 rows, 2 across, but the original one there was 3 across, so it is a completely different missile launcher pod for his backpack. Now I have one equipped right now on his left side. However, this kit does give you 2 of these missile pods, so if you would prefer not to have that Hyper Megacannon equipped, you can also install this second one into his back, so the choice is yours if you'd rather have 2 of the missile pods equipped, or if you would rather have that Hyper Cannon equipped. Although, being that the Hyper Cannon is kind of one of the main selling features of this kit, I do believe most people, myself included, will more than likely leave that Hyper Cannon, the mega massive Hyper Cannon, equipped on his back. But there is that option if you would so desire. Alright, so the other weapon we get here is going to be his double beam rifle, and that's going to be here on his left arm. Alright, so here's one of the armor pieces. It just fell off on me here. So yeah, it's got a nice slot on his arm that holds it in place, so you don't have to worry about trying to grip this onto a flimsy type of handle and just having a hand hold it. So that is slotted in there, and it is locked into place. Alright, so here I have it pulled off of his arm here. This is going to be his double beam rifle. So basically this double beam rifle does have some differences, but it is pretty similar, pretty much nearly similar to the one that comes included with the original Double Zeta Gundam kit from 2017. You'll notice that blue is now molded into a darker gray, although one big difference is going to be these 2 kind of extended cannon barrels on the barrels for this. So yeah, quite longer, although this is also a nice feature. It's got the darker color gray plastic pieces underneath this kind of purplish colored plastic, so that does give it an extra nice depth, color depth to it. Oh, that's nice. The original one had silver, painted silver barrel or gun tips on the inside, so that looks quite cool. But this one doesn't have that. It's just plain gray on the inside, but it is longer at least because you get those extra barrels. Oh yeah, it's missing, doesn't have this fancy kind of silver on the outside of that part as well as the original one does, but oh well, it still looks nice, I have to say. It also has this, the sight can also fold up if you would like to display it like that, and you still have the handle on the underside, so if you would like to have him holding this like a standard gun with the handle and the sight up, you do have that option still with this one. So that is always great to see. All right, what am I missing here? What else am I missing to talk about? All right, so another feature for this kit is going to be here on the chest of this guy. So he has the missile launchers on his backside. So yeah, if you just open up these two kind of flaps on his chest unit here, gently so, you will expose all of the missiles that he now has equipped on the inside of his chest. That is quite cool to see. So he is really packing some heat, I do have to say, for this guy. Lots of weapons. You got the hyper mega cannon. You've got that cool backpack, the double beam rifle, the missile launchers on his back, as well as the missile launchers on his chest. So a lot of cool new features for this version here. So there we have that, and then we can just go ahead and close these doors back in. Now I want to pull this other one here so we can get a better look at the differences on the head pieces here between the full armor Double Zeta and the original. So yeah, as you can tell, that side piece is really kind of stretched a bit more forward than on the original version, and it also doesn't have that bump on the side that the original version has, so there is that as well. Also missing from this new version that the original one had, so I do like that these silver kind of accents that the original version has, including there's one here on the inside of that piece on his head, but that is not included on the full armor version. The V-fin is also a slightly different design compared to the original version, so a lot of different new styling cues, molded parts all around this kit, so interesting to see. But he does look quite nice, so I will not go into too much about the articulation for this guy, because really there's not going to be a whole lot to really write home about. Just because of how large it is and how bulky it is, you're not going to get you're not really going to get a whole lot out of this guy. That is just going to be the way it is for these big kind of bulky suits. Although, to be honest, if you're a fan of building these, you're probably not going to really want to put it on yourself in a bunch of different crazy poses anyway. That's stuff that's more reserved for smaller type stuff, like the build burning type of Gundam and that stuff. So alright, so I do believe that is going to wrap it up for this kit. There's not really a whole lot more to talk about that I have not talked about. It does come, being Master Grade Ver.Ka, it does come with a really nice instruction manual that has lots of information about this guy. Another nice feature, what was that? Center of the book, as we usually get with the Master Grade kit, so it gives you some nice illustrations as well as talks about some of the history of the kit, maybe some bits about the design, I believe. Yeah, the Double Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka was complete to pursue. Well, you can read that if you buy this kit. So lots of English and Japanese, so good chance to practice reading your Japanese if you would like. So, alright, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and we will see you again soon for a review of a different Gundam kit. Maybe I'll do the Haros next, since I had a new Haro also to review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.